Welcome,
And that's what's
welcome.
provided for here. So you guys have all that you need. When we look at the cutlery and everything, it's really great.
So just showing you guys
Everything there
quickly as we
organized.
wait for everyone. As we wait for everyone, we're just going through a tour of my mum's Airbnb. So, as she's here in Australia, she's actually even doing her work, her shifts. She has an Airbnb being booked out as we speak. So as we wait for everyone, just welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, welcome to Nyumbani. Come. Welcome to Nyumbani. Nyumbani in English means home, and it's a word in Swahili, which is a language here in Kenya. So, guys,
So this is mum's apartment that she invested in Kenya. Kenya is, yeah, quite a powerful country in terms of just what's happening around the world. So to be able to have income coming in from
and
Africa
that's what I love about this
is
place, guys.
awesome.
So we're gonna start off with the kitchen. You always want, as an entrepreneur coming, and I'm traveling to do now work, run the empire, just like yourself. You want to have a place that's clean, that smells well, and that can work efficiently, especially for the people who want to be in the kitchen. So you have everything that you need here. Your tea. And one thing, like I always try to give advice to entrepreneurs or people who have Airbnbs, is to literally have anything. When someone comes to this Airbnb, I want them to have everything. There's nothing that they need. And that's what's provided for here. So you guys have all that you need. When we look at the cutlery and everything, it's really great. Everything there organized.
5 minutes to start, guys. We're just
We want to
getting
keep
everyone
your plate
in.
clean, guys. You want to keep things organized. Have everything right here.
So yeah, just showing everyone. I was just showing everyone mom's Airbnb. You guys can see my screen as we get into this presentation. So I want you guys also to let us know, like potentially where you're from, or even, you can put, for example, number one in the comment. So you can write in the comment number one if you're from Kenya. Number two, if you're not from Kenya, so you could be from Ghana, you could be from Nigeria. We have so many just Africans coming in. And I think people are just realizing how awesome Kenya is. You can also put number three if you have been to Kenya. Has anyone here, if anyone's been to Kenya, please let us know. Please let us know. So as again, I was just showing you guys here a little bit of mum's apartment. This is her Airbnb we have in Kilimani. Again, guys, mum is in mum is in Australia, and we were able to now get her own apartment. So even me as her son, when I used to go to Kenya now, instead of me going and paying someone else for an Airbnb and putting money in someone else's pocket, imagine now I put money in my mum's pocket. She's in Australia, she's traveling, and she's getting money from her Airbnb, right? Um, I don't know where you guys are from, every people from Australia, people from all over the world, but Airbnb can bring significant revenue. I'll even say in our place here in Australia, we run Airbnb here in Sydney in our place. And I showed in the group, but we made $18,000 from our Airbnb here in Sydney, in Australia, because we live in a very good location. And that's the potential you can earn in Kenya. Imagine having two apartments bringing you $1,000 a month. You know, you can see she furnished it really, really, really well. She spent nearly maybe about 15 to 20 grand on furnishing the place. So you guys can see in this video, look how quality it looks, right? So, again, I'm the type of person, don't watch what I say, watch what I do, so I'm not just here preaching. It's like, no, we've done this, we've been through this process. So again, we're just showing you guys a little bit of the property for you, those you guys can see, but feel free to comment number one if you're from Kenya, Diaspora. Number two, if you're not from Kenya, from another country. Number three, if you've been to Kenya, has anyone here ever been to Kenya before and traveled? We do have some people who have traveled to Kenya, so even if they're not from Kenya originally, so they can see like, wow, Kenya was actually quite a beautiful country to go and visit. So, yes, this is again mother's apartment, and this is what's possible. I don't know what you guys dream about, but you want to be in a position where I don't have to go to work, but I have income coming in. And real estate has always been that play. The only reason we're really doing this is because, guys, like, I mean, you guys know if you're from a diaspora, if you guys know from a diaspora, if you know how much property costs here in Australia, how much property costs here in US, in New York, in London, right? It's a higher barrier of entry. But here again, I'll go through the numbers. But mum bought this apartment for, look at this. She got it. This is like in downtown Nairobi, which is again, like I said, for Airbnb, you want to have a good location because you want to have where people are traveling to, you know, foreigners are coming, people overseas are coming to travel, and you want to have a good location. But again, imagine now being able to make $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's obviously on a, if you have very good months. Of course, not every month is like that on Airbnb. Me owning an Airbnb myself, not every month is like that, but you do get months like that, especially when people are traveling. You guys saw what happened with Iran in Dubai and things like that, right? So with things like that even happening, Africa is seeming okay, maybe Dubai, but Africa is going to be a place where people are moving to. People are moving to Africa, right? Some of you guys dream of going back home. Again, for me, when I go back to Kenya, it's literally the best. I have the best time because like I'm home, right? So I literally have I literally have the best time when I'm in home. Let me also record this to the cloud. I literally have the best time every time I go to Kenya. So that's again, this is Mum's Airbnb. As we now get started into this webinar, I will go through the presentation. I just wanted to give you a sense of what it looks like, right? What it looks like to have an Airbnb property giving you income. You know, again, even if you can have $1,000 a month, you know, giving you money is amazing. So this is in Kilimani. If anyone knows where Kilimani is, let me know. Kilimani is also becoming a place that's very saturated, where they're building so many apartments. For those of you guys who are not from Kenya, Kilimani, if you can compare it to Sydney, it's a great location near the city, near you know many great places downtown. And again, like I said, we spent like for example, mum furnishing this. She spent quite a lot of money just furnishing this place. Um, as you can see, everything has to come with quality. If you have an Airbnb, you want to have an Airbnb that has a place with quality. Look at this is a two-bedroom apartment, guys. As you can see, mum, we do everything. We do it with class and we do it with style. So if you do have an Airbnb, one important thing is the furnishing of the place has to be very, very good. If you want to get and earn good money, even if you're putting this out to rent every single month, you want to furnish it well. So you can, again, imagine earning $1,000 a month, USD. Imagine earning $1,000 a month without going to work, sleeping, but money's coming in because you have back in your home country, you have an Airbnb. This is something when my mom passes away, which is inevitable, she can pass on to us. This will be something from where she brought it up, the appreciation of value. So anyway, let's get into the webinar. It was just obviously to get things started. So again, if you're from Kenya, feel free to comment and let us know where you're from. So again, number one, if you can comment in the chat. Number one, you can put a number one if you're Kenyan diaspora. Number two, if you're African, if you're not from Kenya, you're just a foreigner. But you know, number three, if you've been to Kenya, again, you don't have to be Kenyan to invest in this. You don't have to be Kenyan to be getting $1,000, $2,000 a month from your property. Okay. So a quick disclaimer as we get started. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a guru. I'm just going to tell you my story. I'm going to tell you my story of how I got here. Again, don't watch what I say, watch what I do, right? I'm going to tell you my story of how I got here. And let's go. So the Diaspora Guide to Investing in Kenyan Real Estate. So the thing I always say is, what is your plan B? What happens if you lose your job tomorrow, right? We're all human beings. Things can happen. We can get sick. Again, uncertainty hits life. Look at COVID. Who would have expected COVID? Look what's happening with Iran, Dubai, USA. Who would have thought that, right? So anything can happen and things change. You know, what are you actually building back home? So many of us are sending money back home, but what are we actually building? That's why this is so valuable. You have been thinking about this, about what can I leave behind? What can I leave my children? How can I earn an income that I'm getting from my work, but without having to clock in and go to work? So again, I'll give you the story of my mom. Even though she looks like she's 22 years old, she's 60, right? And she purchased an off-plan unit in 2020. And the price of that off-plan unit was 53,000 USD. Guys, like I said, we're in Dubai, we're in New York, we're in Sydney, in Australia. In downtown, can you buy a place, even if it's off plan, for 53,000 USD? That's about even 70,000 Australian dollars. Convert that into your currency. Never here in Australia to get something like that. Oh, I don't even know where you have to go. Here in Sydney, you can't find anything like that. She bought it for 53,000 US dollars. Okay. And with mum, she had always thought about investing. She had always thought about investing. She had always thought about, going back home, retiring back home, but she just didn't know who to trust. How could she do it? She knew, in Kenya or even in Africa, someone says, "Oh, invest in property." It's even your family, and they're stealing from you. They say, "Oh, here property," but they're lying. So how much? This is a lot of money we're talking about, right? She had to put a down deposit of 20,000 Australian dollars, which is, Australian dollars is not as like we're a bit low, where our currency is not as strong as USD. So that's even lower USD, that's even lower in pounds. And in, for example, Dubai money, it's probably even lower. So again, that's a lot of money that she had to wire from here in Australia to Kenya, right? 20,000, that's someone's savings. But again, it's about doing it safely. Okay. So when she bought it in 2020, 6 years ago, off plan, which means it's being developed. It was in Kilimani, Chinese developers. It was the last unit, it was foundation stages. In 3 years later, when it was built and everything, it already had it. We paid for a valuation, and the valuation, and I was just showing people on YouTube. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this is the place that I'm talking about. She bought this place when it was in like this wasn't it wasn't there. It was off plan, which means again it's not in existence. So she bought this place when it was nothing, and then it manifested. They built it into something, which is life, right? So this is the place I'm talking about of what I'm talking about. Hey guys, I'll just see if you can put yourself on mute. Everyone, if they can if you can just put yourself on mute just in case. Let me just do it. Yeah, everyone on mute. So again, so this is the place that I'm talking about, right? Okay, let's go back. So we took an official valuation in that area. It already appreciated in value, of course, once it's off plan to now once it's built, a capital growth. 3 years later, it was worth $66,000. So what did I say? $53,000 off plan when it's not built. Once it's built 3 years later, it already, once we paid for evaluation because of Kilimani, it's near Yaya Center. If for those of you guys who are from Kenya, you'll know where Yaya Center is, downtown, amazing location, close to the shops. Again, if you're not from Kenya, it's downtown, close to everything. So of course the appreciation went up. So $13,000. Let's say if she wanted to now just, if you, one of you, some of you guys, I speak to some investors, they just want to do a quick flip. They buy off plan and then they wait for it to be developed. They wait for it to be built and then they just sell it so that you earn $13,000 appreciation. So 25% in 3 years. So the rental potential, as you can see, what you were watching on YouTube, modern 2-bedroom apartment, Kilimani Yaya Center. You can see how many reviews she has. Of course, like I said, everything we do, we make sure we do with class. We don't play around. Like here in Australia, we have an Airbnb. So the rental potential is $1,067 a month. So, for example, I asked mum, I said, "Mum, if you remove this off Airbnb and you wanted to find a full-time tenant, how much would you charge for rent?" She was like, "Son, we furnished this place. I spent a lot of money in furnishing. Furnished apartment, I would rent it out for 160,000 Kenyan shillings a month, which comes about to 1,067 US dollars a month. That's about $12,000 per year in rent." So what do those numbers mean? A rental yield based on the 10 million valuation in 2023. Like I said, when it was off plan, 3 years later, she took a valuation and it was valued at 66,000 USD. So the maths, you do 12,800, which is the rental yield per year that she would get for that, which is $1,000 a month, divided by how much she bought it for when it's off plan, 24% yield on cost. Guys, here in Australia, in America, in UK, those numbers are absurd. Here in Australia, if you buy a property, number one, you're buying it for, especially in these areas, 300, 400, 500, 600 grand. It's much more. And the appreciation is not as high. Here in Australia, in countries like this, it's more of a long-term game. Same as in Kenya, but here it's more of a long-term game. It's 20, 30 years. It's a long-term game that you're sitting on a property. And the percentage is very small, 5% yield that you could get potential, right? So what mum did, she did a mortgage. She didn't buy it outright. She put $20,000 Australian dollars down deposit from 53,000. So, you put 20 to 30% down deposit. And guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. So she took out a mortgage where she pays $1,000 a month, which is a 14% interest rate, which is quite high. But for her, she's earning money in Australia, so she can afford it. Look, I have a place back home. Let's say if she was to have a full-time tenant there, that full-time tenant could be even paying the rent. So she owns a place without having to pay anything out of pocket because someone's there renting. Airbnb, it depends. If it's like Airbnb is up and down. So I'm not here to say, oh, Airbnb, you're gonna make so much money. It depends. It has its seasons. Some seasons are good, some seasons down. Even us in my Airbnb, I have an Airbnb which I'll go through. It can be up and down. Just January and February has been a slow month, but that's because January and February, right? So, but yes, 14%. So she took out a mortgage. Me personally, I would prefer paying it outright, which means put a down deposit and then I could just pay installments as we go. So I own the property. So that $1,000 comes a month plus minus expenses. At least it's getting cash in my hand. As I'm here in Australia running my business, I'm getting an extra, even if it's $600 to $800 a month. Hey, happy days when I'm sleeping. So limitless possibilities, guys. Again, like you can see, this is her place. We did interior design. Again, it has to be magical, right? Her possibilities, the tenant can cover the mortgage, the equity builds, and the appreciation continues, meaning it was worth 6 years ago, it was worth $53,000. Now, 6 years later, again, if 3 years later it was $66,000, now it could be worth $78,000. We haven't done a recent valuation. Also, little red flag or a little warning, Kilimani, the area where she's in, there's oversaturation, which means they're building so many apartments in Kilimani, which we noticed some even property prices went down in Kilimani, right? Airbnbs is not as high because there's so much demand. So that's why it's also very important, the location. But for mum, she's already sitting on capital appreciation and rental income because also her place is nice. And also, we run this as a business. So we're marketers. As you can see, I put this up. I'll just show you guys quickly. I put this up on YouTube. So we don't just get Airbnb bookings. Like my personal apartment, we get bookings through TikTok because we run ads on TikTok, through YouTube, right? So we run this as a business where other people can watch this. Oh, Sujira, I've seen that. Boom. And they book in. So we're not just limited to Airbnb because also Airbnb take their, their commission. So it's all about, how we can get as much as we can. So the goal is long-term cash flow. Like I said, guys, mom, she's 60, but she looks like she's 25. Amen. So what stops people from investing back home in Kenya? Again, like I said, who can I trust? Sending money back home, I'm scared of being scammed. And a lot of people says, I'll just do it next year. But I get it. Who can I trust? Again, your own family. Oh God. Hey, when it comes to money, there's remove family. When it comes to family, hey, or anyone, the people will tell you, oh, they know you're in Dubai, they know you're in US, they know you're in Australia. You're an opportunity for them. So property, oh, come and invest back home. You send money to someone, nothing's being built. They tell you land, they tell you off plan, and it's nonsense. So that's why it's very important you do this in a professional manner. But that's what stops people. So who am I? Why am I talking to you guys? Like I said, don't listen to what I say. Listen to watch what I do. I lead by action. How did I get here where I am now? Right. So I was born in Kenya. I moved to Australia. This was here in Australia. So you can see, hey, mom, you're doing amazingly well. You still look the same. Look at her. This was almost, I don't know how many years ago. She still looks beautiful. So I was born in Kenya. I moved to Australia when I was 3. This was I'm 29 now. So this was my maths is terrible, but 1998 around there. I've been a footballer most of my life. I was playing football, and then I transitioned to being a YouTuber, and then I ran a business. I still run a business. Again, this is not my main business, guys. Like I literally run a business, but this was something because I said I need to start investing in property was now something that came about. And then I started an African campaign with my father. You can see there my dad. I have a podcast with him, and we talk to Africans about how can we take back our African names. I used to have my colonial name. I removed it because I was like, wait, why do I have a white name? That doesn't even make sense. I'm Kenyan. I should have a name that represents my people. So we also started that campaign that has also gone viral. So my journey in Kenya, how did I get here? Well, usually for us men, sometimes you fall in love, and this is how I got here. So I engaged with my partner Anyango, and we started our Airbnb business together. So let's do a little quick story time. How did this all happen? This is how I met her, and I was on a border, and I'm excited. I'm from Australia. We don't have borders, so I'm riding on the border. And then I see a girl. Her pants were kind of sticking out, and I was like, "Wow, pretty amazing." So the border kept going, and I was like, turn around, turn around.
No way.
Yeah, imagine.
Yes, way.
I was like, turn around. And then he was like, okay. He's like, I know them, I know them. So he turned around, he pulled up. And then I know when I'm in Kenya, my accent sticks out. So the girls, usually, so then I kind of put an extra accent on. I said, excuse me, can I please get your number? And then she didn't even understand what I said. She was like, huh? Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I get your number? Put your number in my phone. You're very beautiful. And then she put it in. So we were on a popular podcast series in Kenya. So that is how I met my fiance. And then through obviously being with her and being in a long distance, what were we doing in long distance? What do? We go stay in Airbnbs. So every time we went and stayed in the Airbnb, we were always looking like business people. Me and her were always looking like, look, what does that Airbnb do well? What, like, they don't have this, they don't have this. Okay, if we were to have an Airbnb, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. We will always see it as not as consumers, but how if we were to run an Airbnb ourselves, how would we do it? My mom, of course, who's a host, when we stayed at her place, again, when I go to Kenya, when my mom bought her apartment, do you know how proud I was as a son for me to be like, oh, like instead of me going and paying someone else and putting money in someone else's pocket, do you know how proud I was to be able to book my mom's Airbnb? That was really a proud feeling. So mom's Airbnb, because she knows it, we have here in Australia, everything you need, she has. So, when you have an Airbnb, you want it to feel like a place away from home. So that's what we used to think about until we actually did something. I didn't even buy this property, guys. So I'm not even like, oh, I bought a property. No, we were like, you know what? I said, I'm here in Australia. Let me dip my foot in the water. Let me go out. Let's go out, rent a place. We'll go rent a place and then put it on Airbnb and rent it out. And then the money that we earn on top of the rent, we pay back the landlord, and then everything else is cash in hand. So we found a place in Neptune Residency. If you know where this is, guys, put a number 1 in the comment. Put a number 1 in the comment if you know where this is. This is in Lavington. So again, we thought, no, don't go to Kilimani. Kilimani is too saturated. Bare people are going there. Let's go to a place like Lavington, where it's, again, upcoming, close to Westlands. The rent is not so high. And we do the Airbnb arbitrage. So if you guys haven't seen in the WhatsApp group, here you guys can see it. Again, we had to furnish it really well. Same as like my mom. It was, again, and my fiance was in charge of this. Again, women more are good at this type of things than us men. I just send the money and then you do the rest, right? And she did the rest. I told her, hey, as long as you furnish that place amazingly well, I know we're going to get bookings. So this is our place in Lavington. I'll just let you guys have a look. So this is Airbnb arbitrage. Again, guys, I'm going to show you guys how you guys can do all of this yourselves, right? At the end, again, we have a WhatsApp group. You'll have everything you need to be able to do this. And again, if I give you value and I show you how you can do this, listen to what I have to say on improving and doing this, right? Because it's about action. Again, guys, when we did this, and I'll just show you here, as you can see, again, very beautiful apartment building. We're getting inquiries quite often. How did we do it? I paid bond and rent, which is about 1,500 USD. So you pay 2 months in advance, blah, blah, blah. You pay the bond, right? And then I had to furnish the place. Like, again, we got to do it class. So I sent about 4 grand. I had about like maybe 10 grand AUD. I've even probably more than that 4 grand. I was just kind of, I've got my woman has the receipts, but yes, again, guys, remember me, I'm busy. I don't have time for this shit. But because I have we have a team on ground, I have people I can trust, I could send that money without blinking. Of course, I know the money I'm sending her, she's not going to steal it. She's not going to say, oh, I'm building. No, we don't have, again, we're building here. So of course I already knew, so I could send that money very quickly, right? So send the money quickly. And within a month, we went live. Again, so many people say, I want to do this. I want to invest. I want to do this. But then they take time. And it's like with everything. You want to start a business. You want to do this. but they just delay and delay and delay, and you don't do it. But me, because I see opportunity and I see what's happening in Kenya, I'm also in the business world. So I also have a different lens because I run a business, ETS Production Media, a marketing company. I'm speaking to quite a lot of high level, high net worth people, and all of these people, you guys are lucky you're even in this WhatsApp. You're lucky you're in this webinar because all of these white people are telling, even saying Africa. They can see what's happening in Africa. And what does that mean? If people can see what's happening in Africa, that means people need a place to live because people are moving there. If people need a place to live, that's where the opportunity lies. So what have you learned so far? Again, this is our Airbnb in Lavington that you can see. We did 1 bedroom. Mom has 2 bedroom, but we thought usually when you travel, even me, when I travel, usually I stay in a 1 bedroom. When I go stay with my fiance, we stay 1 bedroom. So 1 bedroom was really ideal for optimized for bookings. So location is very, very important. Location, location, location. You want to furnish it with class and elegance. Like I said, you want to have a good budget. For example, if you buy a property, you want to have a good budget for furnishing the place extremely well. Very, very important. Very, very important. And you want to have reliable people on the ground. That's something that we have, whether it's mum, it was me, reliable people on the ground. If I say, hey, we need to get this done, hey, that shit better get done. None of this, no games, no games. And sorry, guys, if I swear, sometimes I can get quite passionate. So why Kenya? Why now? The Kenya GDP growth is 5% annually. Again, if you guys have traveled to Kenya, there's some people here who have there's some people here, guys, who have been to Kenya, who have traveled. You know how awesome Kenya is, right? It's one of the strongest growing economies in East Africa. It's the financial capital of East Africa. All the major banks, telecoms, and multinational companies HQ in Nairobi. I'll give you another story. I was in America just recently, around November. I was in New York and I was getting T-Mobile, which you can see here. So I had to get a SIM card and I had some issues. So I called them and I was like, hey guys, da, da, da. And I was talking to it was a woman on the phone and her accent, even though it was a little bit Americanized, it sounded familiar. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this person's from Kenya because me, I know Kenyans. So I was like, are you from Kenya? She was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, and I thought maybe she was a Kenyan in America. But no, she was like, no, our offices are in Kenya. So I was like, wow. I was like, T-Mobile, what a big company like T-Mobile, who's, they're global company, especially American, and they have their team in Kenya, their customer service. Why? Makes sense. As a business owner, why am I going to go pay American wages and salary when that job can be done in Africa and I pay less wages there and I have it. So all these companies are moving to East Africa, especially Kenya, as it's the hub, right? As if you guys know. United Nations, again, like near my mom's place. Nairobi hosts the only UN headquarters in the global south. So what does that mean? It's a constant demand for quality housing. So like I showed you guys with my mom's place, someone from the UN came and stayed there, right? And it's the UN who pays for it. So if we tell the UN, oh, how much is rent? 160,000 Kenya shillings a month, which for those of you guys don't know, that's $1,000 a month. Guys, $1,000 a month for $1,000. YouTube has kept on playing the YouTube videos. I like Gary Vee. $1,000 a month for a place like this. Are you kidding me? Of course they will pay it. That's like $300 a week. Again, it doesn't want to load, but some of you guys have already seen my mom's place. I don't know why it doesn't want to work with me. But again, $1,000 a month for a place like that, a 2 bedroom apartment in downtown Nairobi. Are you kidding me? That's gold. So and US dollars, they can pay that. So there's a lot of infrastructure and expansion. Nairobi Expressway, ongoing road expansions, infrastructure drives property demand. I always like to say this, follow the Chinese. Guys, the Chinese, I love Chinese. They're very smart people. There's a reason why they're one of the wealthiest people in the world. They mind their business and they just work. They don't speak, they don't make noise, they just work. Even here in Australia, Chinese, they came in this country 20, 30 years ago when I came, and they were already buying places. In Australia, I'm not even talking about Africa. In Australia, the people who own all these big buildings, commercial apartments, ask any Aussie if they know. It's the Chinese. It's not Aussie, it's the Chinese. They come in a place and they build. I did a YouTube video I'll show you next I was in Kilimani and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I stayed in an Airbnb with my fiance. There was a Chinatown. They built a Chinatown in Kilimani, and I'm like, wow, there's a China everywhere. Guys, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's Chinatowns everywhere. In America, there's Chinatown. In Australia, there's Chinatown. In Kenya now, there's Chinatown. Everywhere there's Chinatown. So the Chinese have been building in Kenya over the past decade. A lot of these developers, some of them, the projects, like my mom, this apartment that I showed you again, mom's apartment here. Who developed this building? Guess who? Chinese. These are we have a relationship with them, right? They're the ones who developed this whole building, the Chinese, which you guys have access to in the WhatsApp group, right? So, like I say, follow the Chinese. They're very good. They look at a place that's growing and they invest there early. 20, 30 years, guys, these properties that I'm talking about, they're going to be much more. And this could be the year that you invested and you had your place and the appreciation goes. So they see where the future lies, which I like about them. Like this was a China that me and my fiance, we went and did a Chinatown mukbang, which we went and ate Chinese food in Kilimani. We went to Chinatown, which was awesome. Okay, so what are the rules? Because there's some people here who don't have a Kenyan passport, and there's some people here who do have a Kenyan passport. So if you have a Kenyan passport, in the comment section, you can comment number one. Write number one in the comment section if you have a Kenyan passport. Write number two if you don't have a Kenyan passport. Because like I said, it's not just for Kenyans, it's anyone who's, again, anyone. It could be foreign, it could be from Australia, it could be, but a lot of people we're getting is Africans from Nigeria, from Kenya, who are interested in this. So if you have a Kenyan passport, you can get any property type anywhere. You have freehold land with full ownership rights, agricultural land with no restrictions. What are the documents you need to invest in this? If you wanted to invest in a property today, for example, passport ID and a KRA PIN certificate. What is a KRA PIN? It's a Kenya Revenue Authority personal ID number, a tax ID number issued by the Kenya Authority. It's important for tax, like you can see some images from my mom's place here. You needed to buy a property in Kenya, pay for the stamp duty, and register a title deed. What else? You need to open a Kenyan bank account, pay rental income tax, and register a business. Guys, so like I said, my mom, for example, like I told you guys, her place in Nairobi, so she pays the mortgage out of pocket. She doesn't mind, right? So when she gets Airbnb bookings, $500, $600, people booking, that just goes in her Kenyan bank account. So now when she goes to, because she loves to go to Kenya every year and she goes on holidays, she doesn't have to now save money, Australian money. No, no. Because she's been getting Airbnb bookings, the money that's already in her Kenyan account, when she goes to Kenya, she's already sitting on Kenyan money because she's been getting Airbnb bookings. She's paying off the mortgage with her Australian dollars, but now that money is accumulating from all the bookings that she's getting. So that's why, of course, you need these things. You need to open a Kenyan bank account, pay your rental income tax, and you can register as a business if you want. How do you get it? Again, I told you guys, I'm going to show you how you can do this yourselves. How do you get it? You apply online through KRA tax portal. It requires a passport. And again, like I will talk about later, lawyers will be able to assist. So as I'm going through this, guys, I want this to be interactive. I want you guys to ask questions. You guys have been thinking about this. You've been thinking about investing. Life works in a way that you're thinking about something. You're thinking about something, and God now puts those opportunities in front of you. You are in this webinar is because you've been thinking about something like this. You've been thinking about how can I replace my income? I'm tired of having to go to, not tired, but yeah, I'm going to work, but what can I do with the money that I'm getting? Instead of putting in a savings, what about if I can put it in a property back home? What about if I can leave my children something? What about if I can build something? Maybe again, I can earn passive income. I can go to Kenya every 6 months and I have a place. I have income that's bringing. So, I want you to ask questions. It's here for you. Now, if you do not have a Kenyan passport, what are you entitled to? So you can have an apartment and house with no restrictions at all. So you do have a leasehold land for 99 years, which means, of course, you can have this for over 99 years. And then obviously after 99 years, which is obviously a very long time, which you probably not even be on earth anymore, you pass to your children, you can either sell that and then it's just you got to get through the government, right? What can you own? Agricultural land obviously requires government approval, but you guys are not really here for that. And you cannot own freehold land like outright, which is like the agricultural stuff, the farming and stuff like that. What do you must have? A Kenyan bank account, which is again like, and again, you get a card, a Kenyan account, and you can use it anywhere in the world. So you must have a Kenyan bank account. Let's go down. So how do you do this? You want to have a good team on ground. It's important, right? So let's say, for example, like I'm doing in the WhatsApp, we have a WhatsApp group that everyone's in here, guys, and I'm just putting projects in there. So I build relationships with all the developers, all the people who are reputable. So again, none of this bull crap of scamming. Who are reputable developers? Some of you guys here have invested in property yourselves. There's some people in the WhatsApp group who have invested in off plan themselves. That's why I said it's for everyone. There's some people who have invested themselves, right? So you know you need good developers, good projects that you can now look into that you don't have to worry about that are very good. But also you need a good team. So for example, we get a project that comes in like we did with mum, we had to go check out that. We had to go look at that place physically, right? Which was great. We went and had to go look at it personally. See, okay, what's good? Met with developers, we build that relationship. So it's very important to have a trusted team on the ground. Lawyer is very, 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 very important. You want to have a very good lawyer. Again, the lawyer is the one that is the mediator between the developer and yourself. That helps you. Maybe there's milestones. So say, okay, if this, for example, a lot of people are interested in off-plan projects, which is cheaper and it's a great idea. You want to have milestones. So if this hasn't been built by this time, we get our money back. If you guys haven't got the permits at this time, we get the money back. So again, this is not just a one-man thing. You need to have a good team. It's very important. A property management company or a real estate agent is very, very important, right? To obviously get the projects on the ground running, right? So what are your financing options? How do you do this? I would always say cash, cash, ching, cash is king. Cash purchase you can do, no interest. You have a stronger negotiation pattern with the developer, and it's a faster closing process. For some of you guys who have been in this process, cash is king, right? You want to, yeah. And again, you can do it in installment plans. You don't have to have the 50, 60,000 straight away. You can installments. No bank approval delays. You own the property immediately, and it's a lower long-term cost. Again, what are the types? Off-plan installments. So when you pay cash, it's lower entry price, and you could spread the payments over 12 to 36 months. So let's make it practical. Like I said, with mom's apartment, right? If I go back, I'll go quickly back, guys, for some of the people who have just joined in now. Mom's apartment here. This is my mom. She purchased her flat, $53,000. She put a down deposit of $20,000. But for her, she did a mortgage. So she's paying off mortgage. But you could put 20,000 down, which is maybe you could put 12, you could put up to $15,000 USD, $15,000, guys, 15,000 or even 12,000. It depends it depends on the rate of the apartment. $12,000 you can put down, and then you can pay like $2,000 a month for up to 36 months. For 36 months, $2,000 a month, you just pay, you're working, you're earning money. And then you can spread payments over 12 to 36 months. It depends on when the completion of the project is, obviously. Of course, there's payment plans. So you have a smaller upfront deposit. It depends. Some developers that we work with, we have some projects on the lower end that they don't even require a down deposit. They just say, okay, pay $400 a month. For example, we have some developers, they're a little bit of a lower budget, but they pay, and your property is still rental income. Let's say you pay $400 a month for 36 months or for thing, and then you own the place. Some, okay, put down, of course, the really good ones like that we did with mum. You can put down again 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 down, and then just pay it off in installments, right? Again, if you have any questions, please ask. So the great thing about off-plan investments, installments, is appreciation may occur before completion. So you put down $10,000 or $12,000 you put down, and then you're paying $2,000 a month, for example, or $3,000. It depends, right? And by the time it's done and that project's done, it's already worth, maybe it's gone up in value by $13,000 or $14,000, by $10,000. So again, you can even sell it once it's done. So it's easier to enter the market, and off plan lets you secure today's price over time, which is fantastic. Another way you could do it is a mortgage. Like I said, guys, mum, she didn't do that. She said, Sujira, you know what? It's okay. I'll put down $20,000, which is about, let's say, 15,000 USD. I have saved up. She already had saved up. She had 15,000 US dollars saved up. I'll put down that down deposit, and then I could just pay $1,000 a month or 1,500 a month every single month. That's okay with me. I earn a decent wage here in Australia. We also have an Airbnb in Australia. I can afford that. So it's also designed for Kenyans living overseas. It is a longer process. It doesn't happen straight away. We also have one person in our WhatsApp group right now that's came to us. She's now waiting from the bank, I think, and the different banks. And that's actually how mum did it. Mum's story, again, if I go back, oh, let's go back. If I go back to mum's story, the way mum did this was NCB came to Australia. So she, again, like I told you guys, when you're thinking about something, I want to invest back home. I don't know who to trust, but I really want to do it. You're thinking about it, then opportunities present themselves. That's how you're in this webinar, is because you've been thinking about it, you've been manifesting this. God has put this spirit in your vision, and now you saw my ad, and that's why you're here. And 2 months from now, 6 months from now, you could be further ahead for the ones who take action. But for mum, she was thinking about it. NCB, the bank, the Kenyan bank came to Australia, they came for a conference and they were talking about diaspora mortgages, about investing back home. And so when the bank came, mum said, oh, wow, I can really do this. I can really like invest back home, right? So that was quite important for her, right? So mom was like, I can invest back home. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Sorry. Let's go back. So mom said, I can invest back home, right? So let's go here. So you can do a diaspora mortgage, right? Where the typical rates, like I said, guys, can be up to 12 to 15%, which is quite high. Again, but if you're down to do that, you can very do that. Sorry, guys, let me just. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just so yes, that was the option that she got. Close this. Okay, so she did the diaspora mortgage, right? Which requires income verification. It's often 20 to 30% deposit required, and it gives you leverage. You can also do a SACCO loan, which is member-based lending institution, lower interest rates, faster approval process. Developer payment plans, which is similar to the installment plans. You speak with the developer, so we will go and talk to the developer. You can go and talk, and we say, okay, smaller down deposit, 0 to 20%. You have a flexible stage payments, short term, 12 to 24 months, and then there's no banks involved. You just work directly with the developer. Okay. Okay, so what are the options that you can do? You can either do a townhouse and masonette, which is, so it's not just apartments that you can do, which is higher rent, more maintenance, and you get more rural areas like places like Kiambu, where of course maybe some of you guys just want a place that you can go and retire. Maybe some of you guys just want a place that you can go and live home. Okay, guys, I'm just going to share my screen again. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, you can do a townhouse or masonette, right? Apartments, lower entry. So with apartments, you have a lower base of entry. It's easier to manage the apartment, which is good. And you can just get this, even you can get ready units, right? So it doesn't have to be off plan. You can get a ready unit apartment, right? And it's popular with professional and expats. What are the risks that are involved? The rental income plus liquidity. So of course there's service charges that comes with the apartment, but it's not even that high, right? You could be paying $100 a month for the service charges. Like I said, oversupply in some zones. So what is oversupply in some zones? If you guys have been to Kenya, a place like Kilimani, I believe is getting oversupply. I went to a place, I was staying in an Airbnb in Nairobi in Kenya, right? And like I stayed there 3, 4 years ago with my fiance, and it's a really nice place. We went there 3 years later, and they had a very beautiful view in the balcony. I went there 3 years later, and the balcony was another apartment building in front. So all these, I'm like, oh my goodness! And I looked at all the buildings; everyone had moved out, and it was an apartment building 3 years ago that was full, full, full. So now because they're building so many apartments, it's like imagine you've just taken away the whole view, the whole sunset view. So the risk can come in if you get a place that there's oversupply. that can be risky, right? Because you're not going to get as many bookings as you want. And there's also that less land ownership component. Another thing you can do is buy land. I find this very risky because there's so many scams. Someone can say, "Oh, buy a plot of land," and you're just putting some money into someone's pocket. But there is, of course, there's legitimate things. Like I said, lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. When we go through this process with our clients, ourselves, with mum, we had to. The lawyer was very, 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 very important because the lawyer helps us do all the due diligence. So, but if you get a good place that's land, you can buy the land and there's no tenant management and you're just waiting for capital appreciation because they're building things around there. So it's flexible pay exit options. Of course, there's no immediate cash flow with it. Obviously, you must verify the title carefully and the infrastructure of the timing, what's being built around that place. Another place you can do if you have a lot of money, commercial property, which is a very also good investment as well. High rental yields because they're businesses, longer lease agreements, and corporate tenants. Again, there's always risks with everything, right? Look what happened in COVID. Now we live in a place where you can even work from home. So of course now even in Australia and everywhere, people are still going to work and people are still going to commercial buildings. And these guys, there's people who own those buildings. Like I said, here in Australia, it's most of the Chinese who own these places. Commercial, high risk economic slowdown. If businesses go down, there's a lot of stronger due diligence here and there's larger capital required. Again, off-plan units, which is what mum did, which is it's a great thing. And again, if you're in the WhatsApp group, there's a lot of off-plan projects that I'm sending through, and I'll make sure to send both. But lower entry price, there's a lot of potential appreciation before completion, and there's modern finishes and amenities. Again, guys, if you have any questions, please ask because this is your way for you to do this. It's not just a lot of people come to a webinar like this, they get motivation, they get motivated, and then they don't take any action. And then you're just, again, missing out. Again, it's 2026. If you have a place right now, imagine where you're going to be 2 years from now. Imagine where you're going to be 3 years from now. Imagine if you're able, again, you could get an off-plan place, sell it, and then you get your cash. I spoke to an investor from the UK the other day. She was like, I may even just put in my 10,000 deposit, get a place, and then maybe I'll get another place. I can get two places. I want these rental incomes. I want these apartments to replace my income. So I don't have to go to work because I have to go to work. I go to work because I want to go to work. But my rental income is coming through things like this. What are the risks with off-plan units? Because like I said, it's not just hunky-dory and no, there's risks that come with everything. Like running a business has many risks. Everything, even actually being a human being, there's risks. You can walk outside and you can get hit by a car. There's risks, right? But with an off-plan unit, what are the risks? Again, this is mum's place. That was off-plan. So what you're seeing, this image that you can see here today, this whole apartment building, even if you look through there, where the laundry is, you can see there's another apartment being built there. But what are the off-plan? What are the risks? There's developer risk, things can happen, delays can happen, market conditions can change. So like I always say, it's very important that you guys can do due diligence. You can do with the lawyer that you can say, I can have a backup if things don't get built. Ready units are also available. So you can also, instead of getting an off-plan unit, you can get a ready unit that's available. Again, guys, please ask questions. So you can have a ready unit that you can move in, ready. It gives immediate rental income and it's easier to finance. I have my auntie in America, Auntie Shinaka. She bought it when it was ready and it was 100,000 USD. 100 grand, it was like ready. It was basically done. 100 grand, it was done. She bought it, but you're basically just buying cash flow. Of course, you got to furnish it really well. So furnish it really well. She's onto her. She's in America. She's kind of a housewife, I would say. Me and her talk about that. She's like, look, my husband takes care of everything. She stays at home, lives with the kids, but she's also at any moment her husband could leave her. Who knows, right? What can happen? But if her husband anything happened, she has 4 apartments in Nairobi. 4 apartments, even the husband gives her money, but she's getting her rental income from her apartments. So she's kind of got a plan B. So she bought a ready unit and 100,000. So now once I've bought a ready unit, I just got to furnish it again. And what she was doing, she was working for Emirates. So she was also able to go back and forth from Dubai and Kenya because she's a flight attendant. So she's going back. So when she was going back, that's when she was doing this. So did a payment plan, borrowed money from the bank, immediate rental income. Once you furnish it, boom, let's put it for rent. Can I, again, if I pay for 100 grand for this apartment or $80,000, can I get, imagine you're just buying cash flow. Now I get a rental unit. Again, we work with the developers where they're developers now. They even find the tenants for you and they do the property management. Yeah, they can take a percentage. Cool. But then I know every month I'm getting my money every single month. Happy days. Who doesn't want that? Yeah. Again, what are the risks with ready units is it's a higher entry price, and there's less appreciation compared to the off plan. But again, she bought it for 100,000. Now it's obviously worth much more. So, like I said, location is very, very important. What are the fundamentals of everything I'm saying? You want to get a place, whether it's off plan or ready, a place that's good location, a place that's growing in location. Hot places, like I would say right now, are Westlands. Westlands, like I said, I was there. So I run a business. I do podcasting with CEOs. That's my main business. That's what we do. We do the marketing and we do quite a lot of stuff. When I was in Nairobi last time, and big businesses, I was in Westlands. That's where I was going. Take the Uber to Westlands, and that's where all the startups are. That's where all the businesses are. Westlands, you want to think about it. If you guys know about America, it's like the San Francisco of the Kenya. It's the San Francisco of East Africa. It's Palo Alto. It's where all the technology, where all the startups, all the businesses are. So, of course, people need a place to live. Get a lawyer. And we have a lawyer that if you guys need any help with a lawyer, we have someone that, boom, we can just refer you to a lawyer. Or if some of you already have your own lawyer, you want to conduct someone that you can trust. A lawyer is very, very important. I can't stress how important that is. And usually the lawyers, they could take a percentage like 1.5% of the purchase price, who knows? But a lawyer is very important. The lawyer does the due diligence. The lawyer makes sure that all the boxes are ticked off. Again, you want to be very careful with this. But again, you could be in London, you could be in America, you could be here in Australia, like my mom, like us, like me. I didn't have to go to Kenya to do this. Of course, I travel back and forth, and even for my clients, I do that. But being here in Australia, I do all this stuff back home because I have the people on ground. And all I got to do, again, I send the money. All I got to do is just send the money to get this shit done. But then I just see, I can see on my end Airbnb bookings and the money coming in. Hey, I'll take that as a businessman. Happy days. So, you want to manage your property from abroad, of course. If you get an off plan and you sell it right away, like I said, some of you guys, like I spoke to my investor from the UK the other day, quick flip. Sujira, I can get an off plan place, wait for it to be built, and then just sell that shit. Get 13 grand. How much the appreciation? Because, especially in Westlands, I put down $10,000, I paid it off. And then by the time it's done, it's ready. I sell it. The property management company helps sells it for me, and then I earn my money from it. Or like what we do, you either do Airbnb or you get a full-time tenant. You can either do two of those. Full-time tenant, still a little bit risky because your tenant can move out. But also there's a little bit more stability there because usually the contracts are long term. So someone signs a lease agreement for a year, 2 years. Even we're seeing people sign 3-year lease agreements. So for 3 years, I'm getting cash in a bank every single month, right? So imagine owning two of those. Imagine owning three of those. The money that you're getting here in Australia, in US, in Dubai, instead of me buying property in these countries, the money that I get here, I get one property. Boom, boom. Another one, another one. In 4 or 5 years, you can have 3 to 4 properties. And imagine 3 to 4 properties bringing you $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Imagine one property could be Airbnb, one property is a full-time tenant, and then you even have a place like my mom. She's like, Sujira, I don't want to do a full-time tenant because I want to go there all the time. I like to go back home. So, you can have that flexibility. So you want to have we also do this. For example, this is our building here in Lavington. We have some people in our building here, they live in Bangladesh. They live overseas. They don't have time to manage that shit. So they give it to us and say, hey, Sujira guys, can you guys do it? And we just take a commission from getting them tenants. So we market their property for them. We put it on TikTok. We market it. And then now the bookings that they get, we'll just take a small commission. But if it's not us, anyone else, you can have a property management company. And usually the developers, the people that we're purchasing from, they can do that. They're a little bit higher, or whoever. Or you could even be a family member, like I said, or someone trust the team. Some of you guys, maybe you want to do this with your spouse. Maybe you want to do this with a friend. You could do this with your friend or with your spouse. You're both Kenyan or you're both whatever. You partner and do a business together, like me and my fiance, for example. Even though I'm putting up most of the money, but that's okay. You could do this with your friend and then go 50-50 even, right? You go 50-50 on the down deposit, you go 50-50 on the payment plans, and then now when you're getting the rental income, you just go 50-50 on that. And it's even cheaper that way. So, there's so many ways to do it. Um, yeah. Okay. So, like I said, guys, you can do the Airbnb strategy. Some of you guys, maybe you don't have that money to put in a down deposit and all those money. You could do what I did. Just rent out an apartment and then put it out on Airbnb, put it out on TikTok, put it and market it and get, again, like I said, guys, $500 a month we rented out for. Sorry, I paid the landlord $500 a month, but I haven't had to pay rent for a long time. Only the last month because January, February was slow month. Yeah, I paid rent out of pocket. But before that, as soon as I got this place, I didn't pay rent out of pocket because we got an Airbnb booking straight away. We got bookings coming in. We got bookings through TikTok because people like when I go on holiday, my shorty, my fiance, she finds these restaurants, she finds all these places through TikTok. Imagine she finds places through TikTok. So yeah, crazy, right? So imagine now we rent out our place for $1,500 a month, and I'm paying rent $500 a month. That's $1,000 cash, right? So Airbnb strategy is a good strategy if you get the right place. And I put in the WhatsApp group places like Mombasa. I never really thought about Mombasa. I will be honest with you, but when I saw one developer that I was talking to, when he showed me Mombasa, because I go to when I go to Kenya, me and my girl we go to Mombasa as well. And what do? I pay for Airbnb. So I was like, Mombasa couldn't. If it's a good place like Nyali, I go to Nyali. If anyone who's been to Mombasa, comment here, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was like, that's actually not a bad idea because, in places like Mombasa, it's just a holiday place. So 12 to 18% rental income is just Airbnb because, all year round, people are traveling. So you could even do Airbnb. Maybe you get a place in Mombasa, which is cheaper, and that just brings you rental income. And if you're happy with at least owning it and you have a place there and you're happy with that, and maybe you get a full-time tenant in there or, people working, but rent, obviously Airbnb for a holiday location, you could get a 12 to 18%. You could earn up to 2 to 3 grand a month, 2 to 3 grand a month if your place is booked out consistently in a place. So Airbnb strategy is still a very good strategy. And it doesn't just have to be Airbnb because they do take commission, right? So let me know what you guys would prefer. Would you prefer an Airbnb to do short-term rentals, or would you have a full-time tenant? Again, once you've got a ready unit or a off-plan place. Again, most of the people here are investors. They're looking at again units like you can see my mum's place here. Look at mum's place, guys. That you can see, you see all those buildings there. It's got a great view. Again, she furnished it with class and elegance, like we always do. So for her, she said, Sujira, okay, a long-term tenant, I could get a long-term tenant, but I like my furniture. Me, I like nice things. And if I get a long-term tenant, I'm scared, long-term tenants, they take advantage and they might wreck my stuff. So I like Airbnb. I like the extra money that comes in my Kenyan bank account every single month. And again, so it's up to you. Long-term rent is great stability, also has a small risk just in case someone leaves. Airbnb is higher upside. Like I said, mum's place, $12,000 she can earn a year through Airbnb. Oh, sorry, through a rental income just by renting it out. But if she puts it through Airbnb, that 12,000 can turn more because you could have a really good month on Airbnb that can earn you 3 grand in that month if it's booked out consistently, or it can earn you 2 grand a month if it's booked out even from half to mid of the month, right? Okay, so taxes. Uncle Sam, again, mom's place there. We showed again, like I said, guys, don't watch what I say, just watch what we do. We have to lead by action. I'm not telling you this as an expert or as a guru. I'm just telling you from experience, right? And that's why we have meetings with all these developers because now they also answer a lot of these questions and they help guide us through this process. But overview, you have a 10% rental income tax and 15% capital gains tax. So what does life look like? There we go, mum. Again, guys, mum did this at the age of 55. A lot of you guys could be older than 55, and don't worry, age is just a number because you're still very young. Some of you guys are much younger than 55, from my age and even below. I've had investors come from me below even how old I am, right? And age is nothing. But mum did this at the age of 55. And she's been thinking about this for a long time. She's been getting good money for a long time, but she only started doing this at 55. Imagine if she would have started a little bit earlier, right? And that's why me as a son helping her to retire early. So, mom, go live in Kenya, go. But they said, no, mom, me, I don't believe in retirement because when you retire, you die. There's no such thing as retirement. Like I tell my mom, there's no such when no, you're going to be working in the business. When you're going to be running Airbnbs, you're going to be you go in interior design, you're going to be running the, boom, you got to be on your toes. But she's not doing it because she needs to. She's doing it because it's fun. She loves this stuff. She loves look at her place. Look at the interior design in her place. She's, of course we worked with people, but she was the one, she's the visionary. There we go. Someone's just commented. Okay, we got ones, twos. Nice bond deposit. Rental income. Okay, we've got Waweru has said rental income tax is now 7.5% tax percentage for Kenyan citizens and residents. There you go. Thank you, Waweru. That's very great advice. There you go. So it's even lower than I was saying for let's say Kenyan citizens. So fantastic news, guys. That's even lower. We'll have to update that. Let me put this again. Thanks guys for the comments. It's great feedback. So again, what does life look like? $12,800 rental income after her mortgage, an apartment she can retire in, and like I said, multiple apartments. Mom, when we retire, you have 4 or 5 apartments. My goal, I'm going to get 100 apartments, and then we're not just to do Kenya. I'm also from Rwanda, so my dad's from Rwanda, mom's from Kenya, so I'm mixed race. So Rwanda is not as big as Kenya in terms of like there's not so many people, so that's why it makes more sense for us to do this in Kenya. But we also own, my grandfather was a multimillionaire in Rwanda, and so we own quite a lot of property in Rwanda. So we're also going to do Airbnbs there. So this is going to be East Africa play, but Kenya, multiple apartments, and some of you guys can do it. Anything is possible in life. Imagine having 10 apartments, guys. That might even seem impossible for me saying it, but nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. You have God living inside of you. Nothing is impossible. You can own 100 apartments. You can own 10 apartments, right? As many as you want and as many as you put your mind to. And the great advantage we have is we're earning AUD. We're earning Australian dollars, US dollars, pounds. Hey, the people here from the UK, if you're from the UK, please comment here because even you're very lucky because people who earn pounds from the UK, even if you come here in Australia, it's like you're living in Kenya. If you're from the UK, please, can someone comment here from the UK? Waweru, you people from the UK, hey, oh God, I envy you. Hey, I envy you because pounds are strong. So for the people who have pounds, your money in Kenya, you have very good money. Even like I said, if anyone is from the UK and they travel here to Australia, your money is double, double, double. It's like you're even living in Kenya and you're in the West. Imagine, even in the US, so the ones who are earning pounds, if you're not investing back home, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so what are the action plans? Again, for the people who have invested before, you'll know what I'm talking about. What are the action plans that we have? What's your goal? What's your goal? I said, we had some people in our webinar last week. We had, I think Abdullah was like, you know what? Look, yes, I'll do the rental units later, but I just want a place that I can call home. I live in Dubai. He's an engineer in Dubai. He earns a decent amount of money. He does also property in Dubai, but he's like, I just want to have a 2-bedroom apartment that my family can go to when they're in Kenya. I want a place that I'm traveling, I can go back to Kenya. I'm also fortunate, guys. Do you know how much money I was spending on Airbnbs when I was traveling to Kenya? Even saying with my fiance, I was spending like $1,500 for 2 weeks. I was spending a good amount of money for Airbnbs. Right now, when I go back, I don't have to spend that money anymore. I just pay my rent because we have another place. So we got 2 now. We got the Airbnb. Now we have our own apartment. Now I just pay $500 a month for the second place in Ngong Road, good place, and I don't have to pay freaking for Airbnb prices anymore. I just pay the rent and I pay 2-3 months, and then I go and I can stay there 3 months. I work from home. I do this. I do my podcasting, and boom. So what's your goal? Like again, my goal is I want a place. I'll have a place that I haven't go to, but I also want places that can give me rental income that I can be earning money. And for us, Diaspora, there's never been a greater time that we can do this. You could be in Dubai, in Australia, in the UK, and you're getting income coming into that bank account. So you can even just have that in your Kenyan bank account when you go to Kenya. So when I go on holiday now, I don't have to save my Australian money. No, I've already got my money in my Kenyan bank account that's sitting there, that's coming in from my rental property, and I'm still working. So I'm still earning my Australian dollars or pounds or USD or whatever. Boom. So what's your goal? You have to define what your goal is. If you want, investor from the UK I had a meeting with the other day, her goal was capital. Sujira, she said, I want capital appreciation and I want cash flow. I want my income. I'm an engineer. She's an engineer. She wants the rental income to replace her work income, right? So what's your goal? You can comment below. You can comment in this chat. What is your goal? Do you want cash flow? Do you want capital appreciation? If you want cash, if you want capital appreciation, comment one. If you want cash flow, comment two. If you want both, which is what I love both. It grows in value and I'm getting the cash flow. Comment number three. What's your budget? It depends. Like I said, we match, or you can match again if you guys are in the WhatsApp group. Some projects again they have a lower budget. Three. Where we're three. Yes. Hey, I agree with you. Three all the way. I want like mom did. Mom did again. Mom has capital appreciation on her place in Kilimani, Marcus Garvey. If you've ever been to Kilimani, she has capital appreciation on there. And she has cash flow that comes in, right? And I put in the screenshots from the Airbnb on the income. Airbnb for her hasn't been, it's not high numbers, but hey, it's money that comes in, right? So also, what's your budget? Again, some places it doesn't require even a down deposit. So, like I've been showing you guys some projects, we have Rongai, those places. You get $150 in rent a month. I know it's not much, $150, but there you don't have to put 20. It's the whole property is even worth $20,000. So you don't even have to put in a down deposit. You just pay installment plans, and so you can do this. Anyone can do this. Any one of you guys can do this today. So it just depends on your budget, right? Like those projects, the lower budget ones, for example, that one there, 20,000. But I was even looking at it and say, okay, I was talking to them. I said, I could do that, but I would own like five of them. Five of them bringing me $150 a month in rent. How much is that? Let's do the maths. Five apartments. Let's say you do, because it's much cheaper, of course. Five apartments, $150 times five. $750 a month in rent. Hey, USD, I'll take that. Hey, so that one there, you could even be an investor like that. Let me go get cheaper places. Wrong guy. It's still places that people need to go and live, those other little places. But 150, which is like how much? 15,000 Kenyan shillings a month, 16,000, things like that. But I would maybe earn multi-unit. That's what I would do. But if you have a bigger budget, of course, you can now, like what mum did. What did mum do? Mum had again, she had 20,000 Australian dollars saved up. Also women are very good with their finances. They can be, of course, women like to spend, like my fiance, oh, can I buy this? Whoa, what the hell? Like you don't even, like my mom, every day I see her buying things that they're coming in the mail. I say, Mom, what? Oh, I saw it on Facebook. She just, so they also like to spend, but also they women are good at saving. So she already had money saved up. Anyone's good at saving. You could do it again as a couple. You could do it individually. But if you have a good budget, like the investor I spoke to the other day, she's an amazing woman also. She's like, look, I'm 12, 15 grand saved up, pounds. Hey, so that's double for people like me. She saved up. So now she's got a budget that she can invest in. So you want to divide your budget. You got to build a team. Again, for some of you guys who have invested, you got to build a good team on the ground that can, get shit done, right? Check out the development projects, do the due diligence. Again, you could be here in Australia, in America, in US. Let's say you work with a team like ours and you're getting things done. It doesn't matter, whoever, you could be your family, but people that you can trust is very important to get stuff done for you. And again, you guys can do this as a team. You could be friends and you could do this. You could be a couple and you can do this. You can do it as a team, and then you just have someone on the ground that helps as well. Due diligence, very important. Lawyer up, right? Again, we don't have time to be scammed. I don't have time to be sending anyone 20 grand. Even I did Airbnb. I sent my fiance nearly maybe 10 grand. I don't have time for, oh, where's my money? I don't have time for that shit. I'm running my business. I have money. I get money. I put it here. Get money, put it in the property. So I don't have time for people to scam me. So due diligence is very important. And then execute, you got to get stuff happening. And then projects. So you need projects presented to you. Like I said, on WhatsApp, I'm just putting them out there. And then if someone likes a project that you guys like, said, hey, Sujira, I love that project. What did it like? We have a meeting with one Australian person in the WhatsApp group. Next week on Tuesday, she saw one of the projects in Westlands. She's waiting for her mortgage. And so she's like, Sujira, as I'm waiting for my mortgage and I want to find out how much the bank is going to give me, at least I want to have these projects. So now once the bank gives me the green light and says, okay, we're going to give you this amount, I don't have to now waste time and look for projects. I've already got a project that you've sent, and then now I'm ready. So now we have a meeting on Tuesday with, if anyone came to the webinar last week, we had a real estate agent who they're building one of the, I'll show you guys next. Now we have a meeting with them next week, so that now she's going to look in and get the project, those details. So the projects are very important, and you want good projects presented to you with reputable people. A lot of the projects we're working with, anyone guys knows, if you guys are doing this yourselves, a little bit of the Turkish are building, Kenyan developers, Chinese, Chinese, Turkish, usually those are the ones who are projects. So for example, you have in our WhatsApp group, you have access to ROI driven off-plan projects. ROI driven off-plan projects. So again, we have the team on ground. So one of those real estate agents, that one of the developers, I sent my fiance, hey, if I even send this to my clients, and even for us investing in ourselves, hey, let's go do our due diligence.
It's luxury properties with the highest ROI. So some of the properties.
So here, these properties that you're about to see, this is an off-plan project. It's going to be the tallest building in East Africa. They're nearly already sold out. Great prices as well in Westlands. So it's kind of like a mock place they showed. Westlands there. It's going to be done next year, 2020. Yeah, next year, 2028, something like that. So if someone presents to you a project that, like I said, there's got to be the due diligence. You got to go and check it out. If there's an off plan here, like what we did with my mum, we had to go and check that place out ourselves. So like you can see, Kenya, what's happening in Kenya is amazing. The places, the shopping, even the women, beautiful. Everything in Kenya is beautiful. So that's quite powerful. So in the WhatsApp group, like I said, again, there's not even no holds barrel, look, I'm just going to send the projects, because now, again, and even full transparency, the projects that I put now, if one of you guys says, oh, I love that project, I now will go in, we do our due diligence, we go and meet with the developer, I also earn a commission from referral. And that's what's so good about this, because guys, let me even show you, with mum, because she's popular, she's a very outgoing person. Once she got hers, do you know how many other diaspora came to my mom and said, oh, I saw that you bought a property in thing. And obviously they could see it because she put it on social media. We got an Instagram page. Then she led them to the developer, and she got commission from. So even that commission even went to her mortgage. So mom earns about $9,000 just by referring to the developers, to the Chinese developers. We just referred them to them. So not only can you guys get a property, but you can turn this into a business. And I can even help you turn this into a business by also going and referring people. If you get your place and you see it and it works and it's amazing for you, you're going to have friends who see that, and other people maybe say, oh, I just seen that you did that. And now you can earn commission by referring people. Imagine you're earning you extra income. So you earn commission even off plan. You can earn money. This can be a full-time business for you, some of you guys. Some of you guys, we can even partner together. Come and join the webinar. Maybe you've purchased an off plan, and then we're doing webinars together. You can speak from your experience. Anyone who comes in, you earn a commission, maybe, that's come through you. So that's what also awesome about this. It's not just getting the place and getting the investment property. For some of you others, of course, some people just want hands off. Hey, I just want my mom money every month. I don't want to do any extra effort. Great. Of course, that's what this is for. This is just extra. You can make, you can earn $3,000 a month. Imagine you refer, on a referral basis. That's what can happen. Right? So what's going to happen now, you guys can book in a free coaching session where we'll have a session. You guys have access to the WhatsApp group. If you got so much value out of this, you can scan this QR code. We're on WhatsApp, message on WhatsApp, or you can scan this QR code. I'll put it in the description, and you can book in a free coaching session. Let's just talk. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? And then we can make a decision after, right? If you need help doing this, let's go. Or, okay, this is what I have. This is what you have. Okay, I'll just give you the game. Here you go. If you want a meeting with, let's go. So as part of what we do is some of our clients who become like members, what they do is they come in and every month, we now go and meet with the developers. We meet with the developer. So now if you say, okay, my goal is capital appreciation and cash flow. So now we look at all the projects and you get priority access. Of course, in the WhatsApp, it's like an auction. Once it goes in the WhatsApp group, it's no prioritized, of course, because it's just put it in there. So of course, anyone can now bid for it. But now once obviously you do the coaching session and you see value, and then it's like now you get priority access towards your goals. If you want cash flow and capital appreciation, you go, okay, this is what I want to do. All right, cool. Now we speak to all the different developers, all the best apartment real estate agent developers, and we find the project that matches your needs so you can have that cash flow and you can have that appreciation. So again, I'm here on WhatsApp. And now questions. I want you guys to ask questions. I'm not going to exit this webinar until one person asks a question. So what questions do you have? What do you guys want to know? Like, use this again. You use this opportunity to just get as much information as possible. There's no obligations here. No. What questions do you have? What do you want to know? What's going to help you get closer to your goals? Let me know. And let me know if you got value out of this as well. This helped you at least give you that one step closer information for you to be able to get what you need. What questions do you guys have on this? As you guys are thinking about your questions, so you can even see, guys, not even just, I know you can see me, that my handsome face there. So this video kind of went viral in this white guy, Polish guy. Again, so these are Chinese developers.
Penthouse that I just bought, 175.
So this is the one, guys. This is the one that my fiance was just there the other day. And as you can see, from the webinar the other day.
$5,000 for a 3-bedroom penthouse, 29th floor. It's effectively East.
Guys, $175,000 for and he got the most expensive one. That's like the highest duplex. $175,000. We're in New York. I like New York. We're in New York. We're in Dubai. We're in Australia. We're in London. Can you go buy a place worth $175,000 in the city? Duplex, 3-bedroom apartment. Nowhere, no, nothing. I'll even answer that question. Nowhere. There's no way you can go buy that here. In Australia, there's no way you can buy $175,000 for a freaking apartment for something like that. It's impossible. It's impossible. I'll tell you, this is not. But in Kenya, you can do that. And that's why if you see a Muzungu, which means a white person, if you see them investing in our home, why aren't you?
Africa's highest duplex penthouse for $175,000. So a bit later, we'll do all of the numbers in detail in terms of return on investment, rental income, etc., to get an idea of the net rental yields and also the potential for capital appreciation. But that conversation will be for later. So Pratik, you've been helping me.
So just quickly show you guys quickly
to our living room.
So again, these guys here, they do have a few apartments available in this place. I know it's nearly sold out. Again, this is where you can ask your questions, but this is where my fiance was. This is where we went. These guys are pretty good. I like them. Again, they're Chinese. This is their first project in Kenya, and but they've built places like all over the world, right? So again, like I said, the Chinese guys, these motherfuckers are good, man. Sorry for the language sometimes, guys.
$1,000.
Look at that. What?
And then we're selling at average price of $77,000. And then let me tell you, this is not,
guys, $77,000.
the penthouse. This is just a flat.
Just the flat. Okay, so 77,000 US dollars, 77,000 times, let's say you put a 77,000 times 20% down deposit. Can anyone see my screen? That's 15 grand. You could put a 15 grand down deposit. Again, you don't have to pay 70 grand all up front, and it's off plan. You put 15 grand down. Like I said, mum, that's what mum put down basically. 15 grand you put up front, pounds. If anyone here has pounds, that's even less. Lucky guys. Sorry, came in late. Is this off plan already? That's okay, Rispa. This is off plan. I don't know how much you've missed. You may have missed quite a lot, but this is off plan. So like I said, this one is off plan. 77,000. You would put down a 15,000 down deposit, and it's an off plan. So they're just showing you this is just a mock. So again, like I said, if you watch my presentation, if you look here, this is what they're showing you. Like again, we went there in person.
Luxury properties with the highest ROI.
Highest ROI. So what you're seeing here on YouTube is this place here. This is off plan. Off plan. Look. Same place that they're showing you. Look at that. And 77,000, there's even cheaper.
One bedroom. This is our bathroom, and then this is our bedroom. And here we come to our living room and also the kitchen.
Look at that.
This is the kitchen appliance we are using, which is Bosch from Germany, which is also including in the price.
Look,
and everything.
Guys, use your imagine. Look, guys, you guys this year in 2026, and I want you to comment in the chat. Number one, if you're going to own a place in 2026, even if it's off plan. This is off plan. Look how beautiful this looks. Westlands, you can own a place like this and get rental income. Airbnb.
For the furnishing, it is all from China. We're not buying those furnishing from the wholesaler here in Kenya.
And this Muzungu guy, this white guy, he has 4 apartments in Kenya. He has 4, and he's bought off plan. So he's smart. Again, if a white person is already doing this, I speak to a lot of family office CEOs, they're already investing. Why can't we?
We have been working with those very big and reputable suppliers in China for the past 20 years. Everything we purchase, we understand and know it very well.
This is why I'm really interested in this. This is one of the reasons. Chinese developers don't have a great reputation here in Kenya. They've been known historically for having lower than average quality. But what we're seeing is that over time, they're upping their game and they're becoming.
So he talked about Chinese developers. Like I said, Mum's place, the place that Mum invested in, that was $53,000. For any of you guys who missed this is my mum, 60. She purchased off-plan unit, 2020, 53,000 from Chinese developers. This is her place here, as you can see. These are some of the images. So like he's saying, Chinese, sometimes they have a small bad reputation, but Mum bought it from Chinese developers, like you can see here. And I've been there personally myself, like you guys can see on YouTube, and they've done a pretty good project. That's a nice project next to GTC. So while you already know, you know this place. Does anyone want to say anything? Like, guys, this is we're all a team. Like, feel free to comment, feel free to unmute yourself, say something, ask a question. But yeah, it is a great question. Great, you have done arbitrage rent to rent with the Lavington apartment, where you're doing the Airbnb. Do you have plans to buy property? I do. Yes, I do. At the moment, me and my fiance, we're also looking. So the projects I'm sending you guys, I'm not just sending you guys those projects. I'm even cheating. I'm even looking at them for myself, and then I'm sending them to and then so I'm deciding. So yes, I am doing that as well as I earn money through my business. Again, what my goal is as we're earning through Airbnb, the cash that I'm earning through Airbnb, we're saving. That can even be our down deposit. So I don't even want to I don't even want to take my money out of this. I'm the type of person, I like to use other people's money. That's how I've always that's how I'll do things. D says, I'll be earning my first property by end of 2026. Amen. You could really do it. Amen. Let's go. So I'm even getting the rental income that I get. I now will use to now also use, even if I have to use some of my own money, at least I'm mixing it with the rental money that we're getting. And we even have some people in the WhatsApp group, it could be Waweru, anyone that we can even, so let's say you own a place and let's say it's unfurnished. There's some people here who maybe want to do what I'm doing. So now, because you're part of the WhatsApp group, you can say, hey, by the way, guys, if there's anyone who wants to rent a place and do the Airbnb arbitrage, I have a place. You can pay me rent 80K a month, which is $800 a month or whatever. And then you can do the Airbnb arbitrage like Sujira is doing, for example. So again, this is a team offering. But shout out to D. D, I'd love to know your Kenyan name. She's going to own her first property by the end of 2026. So again, for some of you guys, I don't know how much some have maybe come through late, but if you have any questions, please ask.
Better, and I bought 4 apartments with a Chinese developer and they're becoming better. And I bought 4 apartments.
I told you, I wasn't lying. This guy has bought 4 apartments, and he's also very smart because he does also referrals. So I also came to his developer, and now when I go and buy a person from his developer, he's going to earn commission from me just going to him, which is what we're doing. So he has 4 apartments. He's a Muzungu guy. He's traveling. He lives there. He comes to Kenya. He has 4 apartments. And white people, they're also very smart. They came even with, it's a bit controversial. They came and colonized and did their thing. But even them, they know the value of investing home. So D says, torn between ready and off-plan projects. Do you have off-plan projects with early completion dates? Like I said, anything is possible. So you just have to tell me when do you want it's ready? There's some, where are we? Actually, one person in the WhatsApp group, the reason why she booked her meeting next week is because she's getting ready to get the mortgage, the money for the mortgage. She's waiting for the bank. And I put in a project that is ready, I think March 2026. I think it's March 2026. So, or we're in March now. So it's a year from now. But there's some that are ready by the end of this year. There's some that are going to be ready by the end of this year. So let's say you can pay like 50, 60 grand. By the end of this year, when it's completed, you've already earned the capital appreciation. So yes, there is off-plan projects that could be completed at the end of this year. That's why we just got to go and speak to all the developers and ask them which one will you have that's going to be ready by the end of this year. So, most of them are looking 2027. Like this one, for example, this one will be done 2028, I believe.
With a Chinese developer last year, and we went, last week we went for an update, and we can see like the quality is going to be a lot better than what they delivered in the past. In this particular case, we're seeing a large luxury developer from China coming, realizing that they can't justify the premium from a market.
And then look here.
View. So
let's get into the numbers, guys, right?
Which is for them a small project.
Okay, let's go here.
Penthouses.
So this is in Westlands. For those of you guys, from Kenya, even when I see things like this, it gives me nostalgia because I don't know about you guys, but I love being back home. Like, man, that feeling of being back home, I just love it. And as I said, you're getting rental income and you're back home in Kenya. It's a great feeling. So yeah, this is in Westlands. This is where they're building. Have a look.
Not going to speculate on those, but in terms of the penthouses, I'm very confident that those are very decent investments. That's why I'm putting my own money there. Pratik, let's do all the numbers in detail here.
Sure.
Purchase price 170.
So this guy, he was in our webinar last week. Again, I have one of the ladies in the WhatsApp group, Wasonga. We're meeting with him next week to discuss a current project.
$1,000 for the 3-bedroom penthouse. What are roughly the closing costs?
Okay, so there is stamp duty at 4%.
So guys, this is very, very valuable for you to know. Again, we're not just talking nonsense, but you can actually see it. So 3-bedroom penthouse, stamp duty. Look, have a look.
There is the legal fees of the developer, which is paid by the purchaser. That's at 1%.
So remember, you pay also the developer's legal fees. That's part of it. So let's say $1,744 USD.
Legal fees of the purchase is 1.5%.
Legal fees. That's also the legal fees that we got to put in. We got to pay the lawyer.
Okay, and then a few incidentals, etc.
Yes, there'll be a few incidental costs thereafter.
Okay, so for this,
and hold on, let's go back a little bit. I agree with furniture, $20,000. So whether you get that. So mom's place, if I show you my mom's place, my mom spent $20,000, and I can tell you that for a fact because it's my mom. And, you know, again, she likes nice things. This is my mom's place. For those of you guys who didn't see, this is the place that she bought off plan, and she spent, as you can see, her quality, she spent that type of money. The quality had to be insane. So she spent, again, like you can see there, she spent over $20,000 in furniture. You can spend it, you don't have to spend up to 20 grand. You can spend up to 15 grand, 10 grand. But of course, you know, if you want bookings, you want a great rental. You can even do this unfurnished. We have, I believe, Wawero, if he's in this group, if he's there, he may even have unfurnished, which is great. You can still have unfurnished, get someone to bring on all their furniture, and you're still going to get your rental income. Hey, I'll take that too. But like you can see, mom did everything. If she has Airbnb, she wants them to have wine glasses. She wants that person when they come and stay at her place, everything. Look at the quality there. So this is very, very true. $20,000 on furniture is true. And again, if you're doing this with a friend, if you're doing this with your partner, you can split those costs.
Etc.
Yes, there'll be a few incidental costs thereafter.
Okay, so for this particular unit, I'm doing the numbers for furnished because I think it's going to be a penthouse is me a furnished market. What do you recommend in terms of the budget?
Around $19,000 to $20,000.
Look,
Yeah.
it's a penthouse. I'm not going to put IKEA.
Yeah.
Right. No IKEA here.
Yeah.
You just put like just really nice furniture. You kit it out. In my mind, the target market is African. It's a wealthy African businessman that either lives here full time or that comes on a regular basis.
You see what he's saying? This is, guys, as I said, man, some of you guys are so lucky, like you're here. But you see what he's saying? Like, so for example, he's already know who his target audience is. Even the mum, the bookings that my mum gets, we get that same type of person. Maybe he or she, they're working in the UN. They travel back and forth. They're an you know, so they come to Nairobi very frequently. They come and they pay rent, or they're staying permanently. Maybe they're staying here for 2 years. So when they come, they want a place. Look at the place. They want a place that's very, very, very comfortable. So that's why he's saying not just IKEA. I've been to Airbnbs in Nairobi where the furniture is cheap stuff, you know, because they want to spend less. Look, like mum did, and we actually have an interior designer. My fiance is actually quite good at this. As I said, women are very good at this type of things. You know, the interior design very, very, very good, because now when someone exactly like even me, I'm that type of person. I'm a businessman. I come to Nairobi. You know, you want a good place to stay. So he already knows who. If I own this penthouse, I already know the type of person that's going to come and stay here. And if I already know the type of person who's going to come and stay here, I want it to be in a very good place. Like you can see, mum went all out. She really did go all out. She spent about even 20 million Kenyan shillings on furnishing the place.
To Nairobi, it's not necessarily going to be some expat family. It's going to be a Nigerian.
Sometimes we do have expat families
who comes to
instead of Nigerian. Yes, a lot of Nigerians do go. That's true.
Nairobi for a week per month or a few months per year, or some Sudanese business person that lives here. They want to impress. They want to be right in the center of everything. They want to be close to all the nightclubs. So it's really about showing up. You
can see, look how many. So some of these projects I'm sending you, there could even be some here, right? You see how they're building? That's how Nairobi is right now. They're building like crazy. But Westlands is really that place. You want to think of it like Dubai. So some of you guys, maybe you're earning even 50,000, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000 a year, 200,000, right? Maybe you're earning that type of money. But imagine now that money that you use, you can invest it in a place in Kenya, and then now you're an investor. You're getting income. That person from Sudan, that person from Nigeria, they're coming and staying at your Airbnb. They're coming and paying you every single month, coming into your account. And you don't have to go and work. You've already did it. You put in the money. Again, an investment. Again, it's a long-term game, but you're basically buying cash flow in a way. You have a place to live. If anything happens in your country, anything, you have a place that you can go. You don't even have to pay rent. Imagine if you have 3 other apartments and then also you're living in Nairobi. A lot of you guys want to come back and live back in Kenya. Even I do. I'm the type of person, I'm going to be traveling back and forth, right? So I want to be going and staying 4 or 5 months in Nairobi. But as I'm staying there, I have 3, 4 properties that are giving me rental income. And then I also have my business and money that's also bringing me income. That's how you want to live life, man. Come on, we want to live life good.
And the furniture will have to reflect this.
Correct.
That ultimately is my target market. There's a lot of money in Africa. There's a lot of money. And if you have the right product, you can tap into that.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Come on.
Could I expect in terms of rental income?
Rental. This is it. Let's go, man. That's it. Let's go.
So in terms of rental income monthly, $2,500.
Imagine $2,500. Guys, put in the chat here if you don't mind earning $2,500 a month. Hey, shit. Hey, I don't mind earning that. $2,500 a month is a rental income. Let's have a look.
And that would be on a long-term contract.
Yes, long-term, and looking at about 90% occupancy through a year, that works out to about $27,000.
This could go on Airbnb. Airbnb will be allowed in the building.
Allowed.
Yeah, you could do Airbnb. That would be a few $100s per night. Occupancy rate, hard to say. Honestly, it's hard to predict it. Occupancy rates.
He's right. He's right. And I'll just, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but he's got a point. Occupancy rate is unpredictable. Like I said, January, February for us, there was the first time we've had unstable months on Airbnb. The cash flow has been, because January, February is when most people are broke. So, but obviously we're getting more inquiries now as we're heading into March, and we're getting more long-term inquiries. But even my mum's place in Kilimani, 2-bedroom, the occupancy rate it's not. But when Airbnb, Airbnb, when it's good, it's very good. How was your December? December month was good. December month, I didn't pay rent, and we made some extra on top, but of course, we don't spend that money. We just use it to invest back into the business. But December was good. December, or from August to December was very good. August, summer, people in America coming on holiday. So it's always a very good month. Again, I didn't pay rent. So I'm here in Australia and I'm not having to pay rent. The bookings were covering itself. Happy day. So Waweru asked the question, how was our December month? It was a good month. January, February slow. So he's got a great point.
Airbnbs 3 years down the line, but for long term, I feel comfortable saying this. I could potentially make even more money on Airbnb, but I'd rather be conservative here.
And he's right. Then that's what I said. I said, like I showed you guys, right? Mum's place. The rental potential for my mum's place, this 2-bedroom apartment, like you can see here, she's nearly got 5 stars on Airbnb. Again, like I said, the furnishing is class. Mum's place here, he's been conservative. Like, I like this guy. I like that guy. He's made some great points. Being conservative, she can get $12,800 per year in rents just by putting it rental. But Airbnb, if it's the right time, if it's working well, that $12,000 can turn to $20,000. It can turn to $18,000. I even have screenshots, and if anyone wants me to show you the screenshots, our Airbnb, even in Sydney here in Australia, last year brought in $18,000 through Airbnb. Did you hear what I just said? I just told you our Airbnb here in Australia bought us $18,000 a month. That's a minimum salary here in Australia just by having a place to stay. So he's right.
The cost. You do property management as well, particularly.
Yes, and property management will be 6.5%.
Okay. What about finding tenants?
Finding tenants is 1 month's rent commission.
And on average, how long do people stay?
18 months. So you need a new tenant every 18 months.
On
That's
average.
an average, yeah.
Good.
What about the service charges, the monthly service charges?
So on this particular unit, it's about $110 per month.
Look, it's really cheap. Imagine $110 a month and you get a fully kitted gym on the 29th floor. You get an infinity swimming pool with views of the city on the 30th floor, heated, all the other stuff, kids playground. In my mind, maybe it'll be more, but ultimately it's still going to be very low and it won't really matter that much. It's one of the advantages of operating in a market where labor is affordable, as opposed to getting a penthouse in Manhattan.
I think
Exactly. Oh, man, I told you, I like this guy. He's a cool guy. Exactly. So, these countries here in Dubai, in Australia, the service charges that you're going to have, you're not paying. Imagine, he said $100 a month for service charges. Are you freaking kidding me? So, like I said, guys, please book in your session where we can actually go through this and we can go through this together. Let's keep going.
That you're looking at maintenance budgeting incremental costs of about $1,000, and that leads you to an net return of 10.3%.
So 10.3% net after all the expenses. I don't want to talk about the tax situation because there's a lot of ambiguity. Locals pay 7.5% on turnover.
Hey, shout out to Waweru. He said it earlier, 7.5%.
For non-resident individuals, 30% on turnover. There are structures that people use to minimize this. Enforcement, generally speaking, in this market is very, very low. You guide people through this, right? You guide your investors through this, right?
Yes, yes, there's a few uncertainties which we need to get over.
Just, get in touch with.
And that's why I say, like, it's not just about finding one developer. What I like to do is let's go speak to 20 developers. Let's go speak to many developers. Okay, so we got a question. Okay. Okay, great question. Okay, let's go. Alinga, what is happening to the infrastructure? I see too much flooding in Nairobi of recent. Is government intervention upcoming or in place? That is a great question. I don't even know if I am the best person to answer that. Again, I'm not just going to tell you guys and just make up stuff, and I'm not like a guru. In terms of the flooding, like for example, I have a team, so I do marketing and we run podcasts for our clients. My editor, he tells me, "Oh, my electricity is out. There's been flooding. Meet those electricity things. It's a bit annoying." And that's why I said when I go to Kenya, I'm gonna buy my own generator, so I don't have to, because I can't afford to be offline for like even 5 minutes because everything I do is online. So that's a very, very good question, because if I'm going and staying in an Airbnb and I'm working from home and I'm an investor, sorry, if I'm coming to Nairobi and I'm staying at your Airbnb, I can't afford to be freaking, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no electricity. I can't afford that. I literally, like I told my editor because I'm paying him, I told him, like I was just telling him personally, I can't afford to be offline for 5 minutes, bro. Like I'm running a business, so like I can't afford it to have customers and things like that. So that's a very good question. What's happening with the infrastructure? Yes, I know they are working on it. What I would potentially do, like I told my fiance, I said, hey, I will invest in it because I know what it's like to work from home. I will buy extra generators. If the building goes out, if anything goes out, I'm going to buy a generator and a backup for my tenants. So when my tenants come in and that happens, that at least they've got a generator, at least they've got a backup. So that is a very, very good question. And I love that question because it's true. The infrastructure things, unfortunately, we still have small issues like that in Africa, but I know in potentially, hopefully in 5 to 10 years that we can alleviate things like that. Okay, flooding. Okay, so I was maybe going on a tangent. Where he says, I think Hamida is referring to the flooding we're seeing on the roads. Again, I can't really answer to that. I'm not too sure. I'm sure they are. And we'll have more people on the ground that we can speak to in regards to things like that. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about that so much, me personally, just as an investor myself. But maybe if you know a little bit about that in terms of the flooding and things like that, feel free to let us know.
If you have any questions.
The other units are also 2-bedroom penthouses, which are duplex. That goes for about $158,000. In addition to that, there is 2 types of 1-bedroom duplexes. The largest size goes for $98,000. The other 1-bedroom duplex goes for $76,000.
76. And those are duplexes, guys. All right. Those are duplexes. But I mean, these are guys, we're in London. Well, I believe you're in London. Where in London can you find a duplex, 1-bedroom apartment in Canary Wharf in London in the city for that amount? It's impossible. I know it's impossible. In Australia, it's impossible. In New York, it's impossible. You can't even get a parking spot for that amount. So that's what you're here for. You guys are in this webinar. It's like you're investing in a Bitcoin that's going to grow and over time. You don't want to be the person. Shout out to D. Like D said, D is like, listen, by 2026, I'm going to own my own place. D said, I'm going to own my own place by the end of 2026, right? So D said, I'm going to own my own place. So by 2026, 2036, think about how much money D will have made capital appreciation. Think about how much money D will have made through rental income. Think about how much money D here would have made through Airbnb because she did this now. Then instead of in 5 years later, you're now kind of doing it then, right? Because that's what most people do. They do things too late. They act too late. So this is the people who want to act now, and the flooding that we're seeing on the road. So I think we could end it here, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I want to thank you because we're kind of going out of time. But yeah, you can book in a free coaching session again, where we can now find out what your goals are. Again, we can maybe play this for 2 more minutes.
So you can buy a 1-bedroom duplex penthouse for $76,000.
Imagine.
How much rent would that be roughly if you furnish it?
$1,000 a month.
Net yield,
Net
using
yield
methodology.
working out to 8.5%.
I bought this apartment without even doing these numbers. I didn't do
Imagine, imagine. You see, even my mom, we didn't do the. You see, this is a lot. We didn't even do these numbers. Look,
0.5%.
I bought this apartment without even doing these numbers. I didn't do these numbers. We did them for the video. The reality is the value I'm getting is so good that I didn't really care about the actual rental returns in the end, because I'm quite certain that I'll get a capital appreciation relatively fast. So
Exactly.
here the potential for capital appreciation is high, and the net rental yields, if you furnish it correctly and you don't do IKEA and you don't cheap out, is also high as well.
what did I say? What did I say? Was I lying? You want capital appreciation and cash flow. He knew this is 175,000. By the time it's done, it's going to be more. In 10 years, it's going to be 300,000, 400. It could be way more. And then also he's going to earn rental income. So he, like, that's what I said. What are your goals?
Look, you need to be comfortable with Kenya risk, potential currency devaluations, potential political crises, potential instability. You know, it's an emerging market with everything that comes with it. So you just need to be comfortable with this. But I feel that it's very much priced accordingly. There aren't too many penthouses that are available. So, I mean, just feel free to get in touch with Pratik if you're interested. I also wrote a whole article on the
and if you guys, if you guys want to get in touch on that project, feel free to let me know, or any other projects that they have, feel free to let me know. I want to thank you guys so much for coming here and being here and spending your time with me. You know, time is so valuable. So again, I'll just give you guys one last chance, and then you can just send me a message on WhatsApp. Again, like I said, in the WhatsApp group already, I'm just sending you projects. Of course, I'm doing my best to continue to get more projects. I've sent quite a bit. So if you want to know more projects, let me know. But I'm sending them in the WhatsApp group. Have a look at them. Have a look at the completion dates. If you want to know, like Dee said, she says, like, look, I want a place by 2026. You know, what project matches that? I'll go find that project. We can have a coaching session. And then again, it's not just about finding one developer, because remember, the developers are also incentivized by commission. They're incentivized by, they're gonna tell you their project's the best. Of course, they're gonna tell you that, right? So, like, you know, of course, which makes sense. So my goal is more, if I speak to 10 developers and I know our goals are, so then I can compare out of all the ones that they're showing, okay, which one I feel is gonna be best for me and my goals. So that's, I think, the positive thing about coming through something like this and having a coaching session is, or doing this, again, you could do this yourself. If you're going to do this yourself, I would advise you to speak to as many developers as you can. I know some of you guys are really busy and you may not have time for that, but if you do have time for that, that's what I do. If you want to help do that, then we can help you do that. Like I said, my offer at the end is we can have a coaching session, and at the end of that coaching session, we can decide on, okay, what are we going to do? If we want to get one by the end of this year, okay, let's go do it. Let's go speak to a developer every single month, every single week, and go find out what are the best projects, what are the down deposits, what are the numbers like they're doing, and then let's do it. And then once we do it, let's earn money from this shit too. Let's earn money. Let's refer people. Let's come to where, you know, we can earn money from this. So now you could earn a $3,000, $6,000 a month by just referring people, by coming into a, you know, by commission. So you own a place and your place is getting off plan. But now, because you own a place that's an asset, now this can bring you money by referrals and things like that, and partnering with someone like me, in terms of, okay, you've already got your off plan. Well, let's just go show it to more people. Let's talk to other people. And then if, you know, you refer someone, like my mom did, mom earned $9,000 by just referring people, because everyone saw her place and they were like, oh, because they know her, she's quite popular here in Australia. And she's awesome, she's cool. And because they trust her a lot, because of course, you know, mom's not taking the money, she'll just refer them to someone. They trust her. So now she earns $9,000 extra income through owning a place, right? And that $9,000 that she earns, she actually put it towards her mortgage, right? So you can book in a session. Before I leave this session, does anyone have any questions? Any questions? No questions at all. Did we go through everything? Maybe I went through everything. Maybe it was that good that I went through everything. So If you're very shy, comment below. Thank you for having much. Appreciate you. See you on WhatsApp during the week. Yes, we will talk on WhatsApp. No worries. Thank you. Thank you so much, D. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of you guys. Again, we're in the WhatsApp group together. Comment in there.